Hello, everybody. Yesterday, I have given a deliberation and session on the contract law, part 2 series. Today, I'll be having a session with all of you on the same topic, that is the contract law. This will be my 18th lecture series, and we will have a discussion on the contract law, part 3. We have ended somewhere in the definition of an agreement under the Indian Contract Act 1872. In my earlier two sessions on the lecture 1 and the part 1 and part 2 series of my contract law, I mentioned that what is the importance of contract and how contract plays a very important role, not only for understanding of the individuals but also for the businesses. And this is very important to also understand that how the contract law affects all of us in everyday life. We have also covered some of the concepts like offer, acceptance, and promise, which is very essential to understand, like consent, also meeting of minds and consideration. So there are many areas over here. For example, some of the concepts like voidable contract. Void contract means which contract are called void contract, which contracts are called voidable contract, and what is a void agreement. Void agreement is something where an agreement which is not enforceable by court of law or enforceable by law. Void contract is something where a contract becomes void. Void means it has no functioning. The contract has become redundant. It has no functioning in the eye of law, and it is not active in force in the eye of law. Void also means that it is not being enforceable by the law. Means law will not take course of the contract that you have entered into. Voidable, there is also a concept called voidable contract. Voidable contract is something where if it is enforceable by the law at the option of the other party and is not enforceable by law at the option of the other or others. It means, for example, if I'm entering into a contract with somebody, if it can be enforced by me, but it cannot be enforced by some other person or to whom with I'm entering the contract, then it is voidable contract. It means that contract cannot be executed by both the parties concerned. So I have already mentioned that the contract is an agreement between two or more parties. There should be a mutual consent or a free mind to act for a particular act or forbearance of an act. So there should be a consent among the parties. It is not that the execution of a contract can be done by one party and execution of contract cannot be done by one party. So it is not unilateral, it's bilateral in nature. Now there is also a very important concept to understand that what kind of offer we have got. For example, if you visit a shopping mall or any shop or any car which display the car for the retail shop, or you go to any kind of a store where lots of items are displayed. So it is, you will see that those are actually invitation to offer. Means they are offering this kind of product in their stores. The retail showroom of the cars are giving the offer for the cars to sold. So it is a kind of an offer which is made to the customers. So there are actually various kinds of offer. First offer, you can say it is a kind of an express offer. Express offer means that when offer is made by using the words spoken or written is known as the express offer. For example, if you're traveling in a train, you'll see many vendors who are offering many products. So if you're traveling in a local train or the EMU train or any kind of passenger buses also, you will see many one of you, for example, someone is selling pencil, someone is selling pen. So they are making an offer. It is an express offer. It is spoken. Sometimes it is written. For example, if in any kind of an offer which has been made for purchase of or sale of a property, so the offer is written it is given on the newspaper. So it is a kind of an express offer. So there is also a kind of an offer which is known as implied offer. What is implied offer? Implied offer is something where the offer which could be understood by conduct of the parties or the circumstances of the case. It means it is implicit in nature. So if you do any act, it is an offer. So it is already implied. It is not expressed. Like express means you have to express either spoken or written. Now, implicit means the offer is already built in. If you do something, then the offer will come automatically. It's built in. It's an implied offer. Then another offer is a general offer. What is a general offer? Which is made to the public. For example, if you are making any kind of an advertisement for the sale of a property, so it is a general offer. So anyone can come and bid for the property for auctions. So anyone can join the auction. Only the highest bidder will get the opportunity to enter into a contract. So this is a general offer. Specific offer. Specific offer is something where it is a type of an offer, and where offer is made to a particular or specified person. There is always a target customer. For example, if you go into a BMW showroom or a Mercedes-Benz showroom, then it is a kind of a specific offer to specific customer. For example, Rolls-Royce car. It is not being sold to ordinary or retail persons, retail car owners. It is only sold to that specified persons who will be able to pay the price for these kinds of products. For example, luxury items. For example, exotic destinations. So these are meant for only the individuals or the entity or the persons who will be able to afford this kind of agreement or a contract to enter into. Then we have got continuous offer. Continuous offer is something where offer is made to the public at large and is kept open to the public acceptance for a certain period of time. Now there is also, I've mentioned about a cross offer. For example, if I'm making an offer to you, an X might make a counter offer to me. It's called counter offer. There is also a concept called cross offer. Cross offer is that when a person to whom the proposal or offer is made signifies his assent, the proposal is said to be accepted. It's a cross offer. Counter offer, I've already mentioned what is a counter offer. So in any kind of offer that we are making, it is that other party need to get it accepted. Otherwise, it will not. I've already said it is the offer and acceptance result in a promise, and the promise result in an agreement. An agreement finally results into contract. So, what is an acceptance? Acceptance in contract should be absolute and unqualified. It means, for example, if X says to Y, offer to sell my car for rupees 50,000. Now Y replies that I will purchase it for 45,000. So this is not acceptance. Hence it amounts to counter offer. So it should be accepted. For example, if I am offering to you for 50,000, then you have to accept that yes, your offer for 50,000 is being accepted. So it results in an acceptance of an offer. For example, if my other party is listening to the offer and he is making a counter offer that I will pay 45,000 for the car, it is a counter offer. It is not an acceptance. It has not resulted into a promise or an acceptance. Now, the very important thing is to understand in an agreement or contract is that the offer that the acceptance of the offer should be communicated to the offerer. It means that the person who is making the offer should be communicated properly. Otherwise, if I am making any offer for the sale of a property from me to other person who will be able to purchase it, and if the X or Y conveys to me that I will purchase that property at a particular price, it means, and if it is not being communicated to the offerer, then it will not result into an acceptance. Acceptance can only be, acceptance, it means that it should be communicated to the offerer, otherwise it will not complete in nature. So to conclude a contract between a parties, the acceptance must be communicated in some prescribed form. For example, if the other party writes a page of paper that okay, Nilanjan Chaudhary has given me an offer and I am accepting this offer. It is being communicated. For example, if someone sends me a email, or if someone sends me a WhatsApp message, now it is being considered as an official communication, the WhatsApp messages. So it is to be considered that the communication has taken place to the offerer. Now, acceptance must be made in the mode prescribed. For example, if I am asking for email, you send me by email. Because those responses can only be viewed through email only. If I am asking that you can send it by WhatsApp, then send it by WhatsApp. The offerer will give the option to the person who will be making the acceptance to revert it back, that what kind of acceptance mode is going to be made. Now, acceptance must be given within a reasonable time before the offer lapses. For example, if I am giving you an offer for sale of a property, if I bought a property, I am going to sell that property, and it cannot be open for an unreasonable period of time. It should have a reasonable time, otherwise the offer lapses. So it should be a period. For example, you have to reply within 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, or 1 month, so something like that. Then another very important thing, that acceptance by way of conduct means the way you conduct yourself is also an acceptance, and mere silence is no acceptance. That if you are silent to the to the offer made, it doesn't mean that you have accepted. It should be express or implied. Express, I've just mentioned, it should be express or implied, the offer. Then the acceptance should be absolute and unqualified in nature. So I end with this session, that my part 3 of the contract law, that what is the concept of offer and acceptance when you are entering into a contract with any individual or any entity. Please keep these things in mind while making any kind of a promise or entering into a kind of a business agreement or a business contract or AMC, annual maintenance contract. Then what is an offer that the company is giving to me? Study the offer before accepting that offer. So this is very important for all of us. I will explain each and everything for the contract and actually the law which revolves around the contract in my upcoming series. Thank you very much for joining.